Hi everyone, it's Sunday evening. We're just about to settle down for the night. We've been out in the garden all day and we've just got one more job to do before we pack in for the night, and that's process this little garden. So there's a little story behind this. The first year we moved here, we had a really bad winter and we ended up with 5 lambs and none of the ewes had milk come through because it just didn't get out onto the grass for long enough, which is what we thought. So we had to hand feed all 5 lambs 5 times a day, which was a bit of a nightmare. The second year was perfect. Everything went fine how it was supposed to. We had 6 healthy lambs. All the mothers had milk. It was great. This year we thought, stupidly, we'd try a little experiment and try and lamb a bit later in the year when there was plenty of grass for them. So plenty of milk, time for the milk to come through. So we went to our supplier of the tup, because we don't have a tup here on the Smallholding. We just have 3 ewes and we always just rent a tup for a few weeks of the year. So we got a different tup this time, which was another mistake, and we ended up with 1 lamb in the June, and this is her. So she was never ever a big lamb and she was never ever going to become anything. So we just thought it's time to dispatch her, get her in the freezer, ready for the ewes coming into lamb for this year. So this is it. We're not going to be doing no fancy joints or chops or anything like that. It's just purely going to be for minced lamb and diced lamb for stews and broths and shepherd's pies and things like that, because there's no real joint worthy meat on it. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown how, if you want to process your own lambs at home, how I do it. Other people do it all different ways. This is just the way I do it. So I hope you find it interesting. Hopefully I teach you some usable material. So let's get to it. Right, so basically all your animal carcasses are the same. Your lambs, your ewes, your goats, your pigs, they're just bigger or smaller than the other. So all you're going to need for this is just a steak knife and a boning knife. No saws or anything like that. So first we're going to cut it into the shoulders, the middle and the legs. So all I do is I go between the 5th and 6th rib. So you just count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just cut through with the knife, and then the same on the other side, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just chop through that little bit of cartilage there, down to the backbone, and through, and there's your pair of shoulders off. So then all we do, we move down to the bottom end and just go from the cavity there, maybe 1 inch in, and then just cut down and you'll hit the joint there, and then all you do is cut through that, and then you've got your middle where you get your chops off, your racks the lamb and all that. But like I say, all this is just going to be minced and diced. Right, so that's it. It's as simple as that. So now you've got your 3 sections. You've got your shoulders, your legs and your middle. So we'll start with the legs. I know I said I wasn't going to use a saw, but I'm just going to show you how we do it. If it was a full-size lamb, we're going to get joints off as well as just taking off the meat. So as a rule, I just saw down this middle of the legs like that. For your 2 legs, and we'll do on the legs first. So I just trim all this excess fat off, take this little piece of meat out here, that'll just go in the mince, fat. Right, just to take the tailbone out, just run your knife down the side of the tailbone, loosen that little bit of fillet there. And then here, we're going to put the tip of your knife in there, come round, just over the joint, just with the tip of the knife, under that bone, like that. And then just hold it on the edge of the table, crack the joint, and then that joint there will open up. So then all you have to do is put your knife in there, pop it, and then just go around the bone, staying as close to the bone as you can with the tip of your knife. Try and take the bone out as clean as possible. There'll be a little bit of meat in the end there. And then that's your bone for your stock. Next thing, the shank. So just cut that bit of sinew, and then you're just going to slide your knife down the bone till you feel the joint there, and you just run your knife straight through that joint, and then run your knife around the bone like that, and there's that bone out. And like I say, if it was going to be a leg of lamb, I would take that off, tidy that up, tunnel bone that out, and then you'd roll that up as a leg of lamb. But like I say, we're not doing that, so we're just going to slash bone the femur bone out. So you just start here, put your knife in so you feel that bone, and just run down the side of the bone like that. Like that. And keeping the knife close to the bone, just go around the front. Take the little knuckle out. There's one boned leg of lamb. So then all I'll do now is I'll just trim all the fat off, keep all the meat. The fattier meat I'll just go in a pile for mince. So we'll just put that one to one side, and then we'll start on the shoulders. Right. So all let's do with these is turn it this way so the neck's facing you, and down that middle of the middle bone there, all I do is put your knife down the middle of the bone, come to the bottom of the neck. Then the other side, down the middle of the bone, come to the bottom of the neck. Then turn it over, grab hold of one of the legs, and then just ease the meat away from the bone. Just staying as close to the bone as you can. Just using the tip of your knife, just going around there, around the neck, down the neck, and taking that away from the bone. And once you've done one side, you just do the same on the other side. So just pulling the meat away, staying the tip of your knife close to the ribs. And there's your second shoulder. And then all I do here is just trim the excess meat off the top of the neck bone. And then that's it. At some point in its life, this must have had a problem with its ribs, because it's got a bit of a deformity on its ribs. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a bit of a deformity on its rib there. So it must have had done it sometime in its life. So this, if it was a bigger lamb, I'd take the meat out the bone, but as it is what it is, it'll just go into stock. Right, now I'll show you what we do with the shoulder. Right, so start with this bit of paddy whack or gristle tent, whatever you call it. Just cut down the side there, peel that out. Then all I do here is I just get that flappy bit of skin, and I just put my knife in till I feel the hard bone, and I just slide my knife across the top of the blade bone until you uncover the blade bone. And all you do with that, once you see the shape of the blade bone, you just come down one side, come down the other side, not too deep, then crack the joint and just put your knife under the top of that joint like that, just so you get your finger in. Once you get your finger in, if you just lever it out, it'll just pull the bone out lovely and clean like that. And then we just go on to this bone. So we start from the foot, come in there, just take that bit of meat off, and then I just follow the bones around then. Just keep as close to the bone. If it was for a Sunday joint, we'd make it look a bit more pretty, but as it's just for
Scotch broth.
broth, it's just a case of getting the bone out and leaving the meat on. So that's it for that. And then you've got your shoulder. Like I say, if we were going to do it as a roll, you'd make it a bit neater, tuck the neck in and everything, and then we'd roll that up into a nice rolled shoulder. But we're not going to do that, so that's just going to be into mince. Right. On to the last piece, the loins. Right. Normally, as a rule, if it was a good lamb and you were doing it for chops, I'd just get the saw in there, and I'd just saw straight across there, cut that off, and then you'd have your chops. Same on the other side, and then straight down the middle. As it isn't, we're going to do it the easy way. So we just flip it over, and as you can see, the spine bone runs straight down there. We're just going to use that as a guide. So starting from the top of the spine bone, keeping as close to the spine bone, down one side, and again, down the other side. And all we're going to do now is just ease the knife down the spine, just staying as close to the bone, just nicking the meat away, staying close to the bone. Like that. And then there you've got your nice little lamb fillet there, which will just go into diced. Right, so that's it, all finished. And out of an exceptionally small lamb, I'm quite surprised how much meat we got off it actually. Normally our lambs weigh out at double this. So if you are going to raise your lambs or do your lambs, don't let this put you off, because this was a exceptionally poor small lamb that just wasn't going to come anything. So like I said, normally our lambs would be double this. We do joints and everything, but for the basis of this lamb, all we did was diced, which we got 3.5 kilos of diced out of. We got 1 3/4 kilos of mince, which roughly worked out will make about 20 burgers once we add the seasoning. We'll show you how we do our lamb burgers in another video. And then we had 4 of these little lean back straps from down the back of the loin, which I was going to put in a dice, but they're too nice to be chopping up and putting in a stew, so we'll have them with something else. And that's it, it's simple as that. I mean, it took us, well, I don't know what time was on the beginning of the video, but
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes to do it all and ready to put it in the freezer. I hope you found this interesting. It's not difficult to do this, you just need a bit of confidence, and it tastes much better than what you buy in a shop. You know where it's come from, about 50 metres just out of that window, so we know exactly where it's come from. The taste is far superior than anything else, and for a steak of 45 minutes you've got, what, a dozen or more meals. So yeah, give it a go. So thanks for watching, I hope you found it interesting. If you like what we do here, please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and we'll see you next time.